Let's dive in. Let's talk about how you are going to start your next presentation with a hook instead of a salutation, like the hi, the hellos, how are yous. I'm so happy to be here and thank you for having me, followed by your resume. Here's the deal. People don't care. They want you to get to the point. They want you to solve their problem. So let's find ways that you get to hook your audience that's going to help do just that. Number one, start with a question. It could be an open-ended question or it could be a closed-ended question. So for example, what's one superpower as a speaker that you want to gain by the end of this talk? And if it's virtual, have them put their answers in the chat, reflect those back. And if it's on stage, just get a couple of people to volunteer and share. You could start with a closed-ended question. How many of you here, by show of hands, have ever bombed a presentation? Oh yeah, quite a few of you. Woo! Then we can go into further conversation. Number two, give a bold fact or startling statistic. For example, did you know that 75% of all people are just terrified of public speaking? By the end of this presentation, I'm hoping that you will be in the 25%. Number three, tell a story. Allow yourself to be a little bit vulnerable. Talk to us about a choice that you made that led to a transformation. Give us something that's going to help draw us in and understand you and build that trust. Number four, make a surprising statement. For example, everything that you have learned about public speaking is wrong. And then you tell them why. Number five, use humor. People ask me about humor all the time, but here's what I'll say about that. There's different types of humor. So for example, improvisationally, you could be interacting with your audience member. Maybe you learned something about somebody, you're able to bring it back, fold it in, and because of your innate humor and how it came out in an honest way, that's incorporating humor. Or it could be a joke, but if it is a joke, I highly recommend that you test that joke out first with an actual audience because jokes are about timing. But yes, humor is a great way to get your audience engaged and trusting you. Number six, engage their imagination. This could be through a visualization that you lead them through. You could have them close their eyes and imagine their future self, for example, and the steps that they need to take in order to get to that future self. So there are many things that you can do to really spark the creativity and the imagination in your audience. Number seven, present a contradiction. So for example, that contradiction could be, in order to give the best presentation, you have to be okay with being imperfect. Number eight, drop a powerful quote from somebody that you admire. One quote I use often, either in my trainings and sometimes from the stage, is notice what you notice. Allen Ginsberg, first thought, best thought. Also, yes, Allen Ginsberg. Use a quote that you feel relates to your message or something that you feel is going to motivate and move your audience. Number nine, create curiosity. So for example, you might start your presentation with, I have a confession to make. And then you don't tell them what that confession is until later. Number 10, use props or visuals to hook your audience and get their attention. I had a client once tell me that in a past presentation, she had used 2 watermelons. So when the audience showed up, there were 2 watermelons on stage. One had a motorcycle helmet on it, the other did not. When she walked on stage, she had a hammer in her hand and she whacked them both on the top of the watermelon. And one, of course, shattered and then the other did not. This was her way of starting to talk with her audience about the importance of motorcycle safety. So yes, that had quite the impact. So there are many ways, and even more than what I've listed here, for how you can be hooking your audience right out of the gate. Get them leaning in and engaging them. There are other ways that you can do this throughout your presentation. This doesn't always just have to be at the beginning. In fact, I highly recommend that you engage your audience throughout. Why? Because our attention spans are shorter than ever because your objective is to be unforgettable. So how do you do that? You keep them from looking at their phones and you keep them engaged in your content. But you have to be creative and you have to give yourself permission to explore. So I hope you'll take some of these hooks, practice them, and if you need further assistance, I sure hope that you're going to save this video, subscribe here to this YouTube channel, and of course, reach out to me.